Hello to the Double GDP community. This is Jay. I'm going to give a little bit of an update here for what's really our last sprint of 2019 and kind of like first sprint of 2020. Today is January 7th, 2020. And so we had a sprint that kind of like straddled the end of the year and the beginning of the year. It's a really exciting time to be updating the community at the end of it, at the end of a period, right? Like have an opportunity to really kind of like look back over the course of not just a week or 2 weeks, which would be typical to a sprint, but actually kind of like take a step back and see some of the broader impact that you've had on your customers and your company and stuff like that. And so at least that's what some of my reflection has been on the last couple of days. I've been thinking through some things here, and so I'll get an opportunity to share some of that as we go. I'm talking about three things really kind of in this update in terms of stuff that I've been involved driving forward on Double GDP. First one is we'll just talk a little bit about customer and market. Second one is going to be about what's been going on with the product and some of the product development that I've been involved in. And then third is company, right? Like, so how have we been evolving the workings of our business in the last sprint? To start off on the customer side, one of the most important things we do to keep our customer engaged and using the platform is that we do a weekly report on activity at their security gate using our digital platform. And since I haven't shared it before, I thought I would share just a quick glance at what that report looks like, so that you can get a little bit of a feel of the ways in which analytics kind of come out of using a digital system like this. So as you can see, basically like on a weekly basis, we are able to generate a report for our customers that flows through and talks a little bit about what was happening at their gate. Who was coming through? Were they people that had never been to the gate before and visited that site? Were they like people who are residents? Are they people who are paying clients and current customers of the property developer who is our customer and like will eventually become residents? Will eventually be building in this community? And are they prospective new clients, right? Prospective new people kind of coming in. What's really cool at the end of this sprint is that we actually have a look back now, like really kind of almost 2.5 months from November through the beginning of January, as to what has been happening since we implemented this digital logbook at their security. And what's really cool here at the end of the year is we can say, nearly 300 people have basically come through and used the digital system that Double GDP has with this customer, or our first customer in the last couple of months. And of those 300 people, like 78, so like nearly a third of them are current customers of that client, right? Sorry, I guess I should say about 78 of 190 unique people. So not quite half, but like about 43% of people coming through the gate are the current customers of this of our customer. And it's neat to kind of see that because we start to understand a little bit more about like what happens as a community is growing, who's kind of coming through, what portion of the activity at the in a new community in its earliest stages are people who are being attracted to it, right? They're already they are new and considering becoming a part of it. What portion of the activity that's happening in a new community is folks who are sort of like already part of that community, either they're clients or they're residents or they're building their homes. And what portion are the people who are working there, right? They're the builders, the contractors, and all that kind of stuff. So these are the types of analytics that we take a look at with our customers, and the types of insight that can kind of come through having a digital tool or a digital system that is all about access control, right? Because it is the first kind of like basically like tool that you have to really understand how the community is growing and who is in it and how do they behave. We send that weekly report to our customers as a way to engage with our customers, right? So basically send them an email that says like, here's, 5 things we've learned by looking at the statistics and the analytics from the last week. Prompt a little bit of dialogue back and forth. That's a really good opportunity to kind of encourage our customers to take a look at the platform and use some of the features on their own. So I thought I would just kind of provide a little bit of an update on that. On the product side, so that was customer. On the product side, there's been a lot of both front end and back end development going on as we kind of like spanned the end of the year here at DoubleGDP. The most important thing is that we've now got working features, the initial working software for 2 new features that are going to be really critical to kind of like the next whole use case or feature set that we're developing, which is all around CRM solutions. So the first one is we have working software for, or the first piece of working software for a showroom log that will basically replicate the features that we have developed for the digital logbook at the security gate, and it replicates those features into the environment that is the showroom for our customer. To kind of understand it, right? Like people come and visit the showroom to learn about this community, and the showroom, excuse me, the showroom is in the capital city of Lusaka. Much easier for them to go and visit a showroom than it is actually to drive the 30 kilometers out and go see the town itself. So they learn first about this new community at the showroom, having conversations with a lot of the consultants there about what it's like to live there, how can you build a new home there, all that kind of stuff. And right now the process of sort of checking in at that showroom and expressing interest in a potential plot is analog, right? It's an analog handwritten logbook, just as it used to be at the security gate at the community. So we're gonna work with our customer there to digitize that analog logbook, and that's the first feature that we've built. The beautiful thing is that digital showroom logbook is also kind of like the first step of building for the sales team at our customer a set of sales tools that look a lot like a pretty highly valued CRM system, and it'll allow them to basically trace the connections between folks that they tell the story to of their new community. They tell the story of that at the showroom. Some of those people go and visit the new community, and eventually some of those people go and become paying customers of the community. They eventually move in. So this is kind of the next feature that is that sort of like draws a link between the marketing and sales team at a new community like our customer and the actual operations of the city itself, right? Like the operations at the gate. So we're really excited about kind of like rolling that out. The initial piece of that is built out, along with some other initial pieces that are related to the CRM use case that we're building right now around mapping that Mark, I think, is sharing in his update. So pretty cool. You'll see the actual the UX, the working UX of that digital logbook in Olivier's update from a front-end engineering perspective. Finally, wanted to give a little bit of an update on the development of the company. As we move into the new year, I'm going to reorient some of my focus really back to telling the story of DoubleGDP and building partnerships with our partnerships beyond our primary existing customer. It's really a great time for us to do that because we've been working pretty hand in hand with the customer in Zambia to develop this initial software, doing a lot of good work, kind of like getting the initial use cases of the product off and running and continuing those things to work. We've been onboarding some customer success and support team to make sure that that relationship with the existing customer is kind of like well managed and supported. And what that's going to allow me to do in my role is to kind of step a little bit away, to step a little bit and look more broadly at the sets of partnerships and new types of customers for DoubleGDP that we can kind of go and shoot for. So as a way of enabling me to kind of like like level up my strategic focus on the growth of the company, and look a little bit more externally. We're bringing on a couple of new pieces of software and partners to basically help run some of the operations of the company. So we onboarded a accounting partner to manage some of the week-to-week and month-to-month accounts payable, closing of the books, and managing kind of like our P&L and internal management metrics, and as well as really just kind of like helping to allow us to make really smart like operations, HR, and finance decisions. So we're excited about bringing those folks on board, and the way in which they're going to basically kind of like level up my areas of focus, and Nolan's areas of focus as well as CEO, away from a little bit more persistent operations and onto the growth of the company, which is great. It's a really cool opportunity. We also went through a lot of work to set up Expensify and Brex as some of our kind of financial stack. So we've now got a solid startup financial stack of QuickBooks and Brex and Expensify and all of these different tools that ought to help us like do 50% less work on managing the operations of the business, and hopefully 50% more work on growing the business itself. So that's a little bit of my update here. Customer, product, and company. Really exciting to see where this startup has gone in the last 6 months of 2019. And I couldn't be more excited to see where we're going to go in 2020. Thanks very much. Talk soon. Bye.